Rod, the only person here that has a kind of experience in a state that's been probably at the top in the country for corruption when it comes down to elections, going all the way back to the mob's involvement, Kennedy, more governors in your state have gone to jail than I think any other state. And you said earlier yourself, you went for 8 years as well because of something about, how there was a negotiation on a call in the record. We've already talked about that on the last podcast, so I don't want to rehash that. Yeah. So you went and against the most powerful Democrat who was out there campaigning the last 2 weeks, which is Barack Obama. There's not a Democrat more powerful than Obama right now, minus the guys that are putting the money, George Soros. But as far as the voice goes, is Barack Obama. How much of what you listening to Adam and Ricky going back and forth, and you were a Democratic governor, it's very important for people to know that. How much credibility is there on the gamesmanship, on the manipulation, on all that stuff going behind closed doors?
Look, I really appreciated that conversation. It was spirited, and it really was a microcosm of America, Adam. And,
100%.
And that certainly emotion, the anger, the energy involved in it all kind of really highlights the divisions in our country. And I think it goes down to fundamental trust. I'm not going to belabor the point. I didn't break a law, cross a line, or take a penny. It was a corrupt prosecution. I would have never believed it had it not happened to me. You'd think those are the good guys. They would look for the law and do the law and not make stuff up or lie or cover up evidence. Having said that, I had to go through all of that. I'm finally home. Look to the future. I believe the best thing this new Republican House can do for our country, Democrats and Republicans, to restore trust, is we got to have election integrity to such an extent that the American people can believe in the process. They have very real reasons not to believe in it. I don't know who won or who did. Biden was declared the winner. I don't want to relitigate all of that, but the fact is, a lot of people don't think that was a fair game. Do I believe fraud exists, vote fraud and cheating in elections? I know it as a fact coming out of Chicago politics. I also know it spending 6 years in Congress and hearing stories about the Democrats from Philadelphia and Detroit and other big cities. Now, do Republicans steal votes in places where they control polling apparatus? I'm sure they do. It's human nature. We've got to fix this system. The Democrats go out and run, save democracy, democracy's at stake. I think in this past election, that's projection. Let's see if they really want to save democracy. If the Republicans are willing to put their country first, pass something like guidelines to dictate to states that they got to do certain things like Florida did and Georgia did to clean up their electoral process, I think that's probably the best service that they can do for our country, and in the long run, it's going to save our democracy. I predict the Democrats will characterize it as something other than what it is, if the Republicans even do it, and you'll see gridlock because they have different parties have a vested interest in how certain things are.
Rod, is it fair to say the criticism Democrats give to the right is the way they manipulate elections is through gerrymandering, and that's kind of what they specialize in.
Yes.
And the criticism Republicans will give the left is they do election fraud, and that's kind of how they do it to win elections. So it's like, hey, if you're going to do gerrymandering, we're going to do this, but if you're going to do this, we're going to do that. Is that a fair criticism that each side gives to the other side?
I think to varying degrees, they're both guilty of that. Okay. I think the Republicans more so on the gerrymandering.
Right.
I think Democrats more so on the stealing votes. But let me tell you, Republicans in places that they control stuff and no one's looking, human nature being what it is, they're taking some votes too. It's how it is. It's sort of built into the system. It should be fixed. It must be fixed so we can trust our country and our democracy, because through the hard experience I've been through, and you can think I'm full of shit and that I did the things they said I did. I didn't. They were legal, every one of them. Obama started. He came to me to make a political deal. We had conversations. He went to the White House. They threw my ass into the shit house. And I wouldn't give in. I keep fighting to this day.
Because the last Senate seat, right? There was
the Senate seat, which was ultimately reversed by the appellate court. They can never uphold that standard because that was a political deal Obama wanted to make with me. And they put me there for fundraising. I didn't break that law either. Having said that, so I learned lessons. You can't really trust.
And by the way, for some people that are not familiar with you, were a star that was coming up that would have ran for presidency. Some people even looked at you as you have a very big upside, that it wasn't just about governor for you. And that's kind of what was going on. And you guys are both from the same state, so there's a lot of competition there going on as well.
I was the first Democrat governor in 26 years in Illinois, which is a microcosm of America. At the time, it was the 5th largest state. I think it's 6th now. We have everything in Illinois, like the United States. And I was sort of like the new face on the block, and there were some people that were speculating. Obama came 2 years later. We both knew each other in the state legislature. He has great skill and talent. Life is how it is. Sometimes it doesn't go your way. Having said that, here we are looking to the future. I think this new House Republican majority, however small it might be or not as big as they had expected it was going to be, I do think that resolving the way we do elections and pushing the states to have some sort of rules that they have to follow, because we have those for federal crimes, these mandates that federal laws have. Why not do it for these elections so we can have elections in other states like they had in Florida, like they have in Georgia now, because they fixed what was wrong in Florida and have now made it where people trust the system.
To order your Future Looks Bright hat, click over here. And to watch the entire podcast, click here. Take care, everybody.